Why are people leaving Ontario, and why are they moving from Ontario to Florida in 2024? A few years back, I made the decision that I wanted to leave Ontario for Florida. With my years of experience in relocation, I bring you the best advice for moving out of Ontario and into the state of Florida. In this video, I'll talk about the challenges I'm facing with my move. I'll compare how the cost of living differs, tell you some must-know tips for a smooth transition, and so much more. Hi, my name is Gino Santarossa. I'm a certified realtor who helps people just like you move to Florida. If you stay with me until the end, as always, I'll have a bonus tip for you that will be a blessing for newcomers. Enough waiting, let's get started. Why are people moving from Ontario to Florida? In 2022, approximately 126,340 people moved from Canada to the United States, marking a significant increase from previous years. Many of these relocations were to states like Florida. But why Florida? Well, as I am personally relocating from Ontario to Florida, I can tell you why many have left for sunnier days. Canadians are moving to Florida for many reasons, such as the warm weather all year round. There's no state income tax, which saves money, and property taxes are much lower too. The cost of living, including housing and food, is also much cheaper. People enjoy a relaxed lifestyle here with lots of outdoor activities like swimming and fishing. Healthcare is good too, with many hospitals and fantastic specialized doctors. Plus, Florida's growing economy means lots of job opportunities. With all that said, it wasn't exactly easy for me to make my move, and the amount of research is mind-blowing to say the least. What are the challenges I'm currently facing when moving? When moving from Ontario to Florida, the visa and immigration process was a bit tricky. First, I had to answer why I was moving, as this determined what type of visa I required. If it was for work, my employer had to sponsor me, and if it was for business, I needed a special business visa. I personally received my E2 business visa. If your aim was simply relocation, an immigration visa was what you'll probably require. On the other hand, a family sponsorship helps if you have close relatives in the US. Next, I had to research different cities in Florida to find the right one for me. Each city offers something unique, from lively urban areas to quiet coastal towns. Are you interested in high energy areas or a more laid-back community? Do you want a community with HOA fees or a community without? Do you want to be by the water? Do you want to live in a condo? Do you want to live in a house? These questions kept popping up, and I personally have a 4-year-old daughter, so for us, a laid-back community worked in our favor with great schools. The cost of living and housing in Florida varies as well by city, so I had to research all those different areas very carefully. Some places are affordable, but others can be quite pricey. I also had to get used to the weather, which is very warm, but can be intense with high humidity, and how can we forget, yes, hurricanes pass through the state. Finding a job was a bit easier here as well, since Florida has a great job market with many opportunities. Despite these challenges, moving from Ontario to Florida has been a big adventure. But the adventure isn't always easy on the pockets, and that makes me wonder, what is the cost of living in Florida compared to Ontario? Now, comparing Ontario to Florida isn't easy. There's a lot of data to consider, but what if we consider the capitals of Ontario and the state of Florida? This will give you a clearer picture of which one is more affordable. Let's take Tallahassee, Florida, for example, and compare the cost of living with Toronto, Ontario. According to Numbeo, the overall cost of living in Tallahassee, Florida is about 14.7% lower than in Toronto. To maintain the same standard of living, you need around 7,400 Canadian in Tallahassee compared to $9,000 Canadian in Toronto. Restaurant prices, this was a shocker too. Restaurant prices in Tallahassee are 15.4% lower, with an inexpensive meal costing $20.62 compared to $26 Canadian in Toronto. Groceries are 2.8% cheaper as well in Tallahassee, and for example, I'll give you an example here, a gallon of milk costs $6.22 Canadian there versus upwards of $20 in Canada and Toronto specifically, and now that's a big difference. What are some must-know tips for a smooth transition? As someone who's making the transition of relocating from Ontario to Florida, there are some additional tips I'd like to share with you. Research top cities in Florida, consider rent costs, proximity to work and schools. Booking a trip to explore these areas can help you decide, as you can see the areas for yourself. I personally rented a car and drove around the state to find what I felt would be a perfect place for us to relocate to. You also need to understand Florida's unique weather. It's hot and humid, especially in the summertime. Experiencing it firsthand is crucial, And while in Florida, try to understand its lifestyle, climate, and culture. Explore the job market as well here, focusing on areas like Tampa Bay, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando, which offer many job opportunities. Popular careers here include operations managers that can earn up to $70K a year as an example, sales jobs, mining engineering, and tech positions. After moving, you'll also need to connect with local services such as updating your car's registration at the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. How to prepare for your move? It was overwhelming at first when I was making the move, and I know how it feels. You keep forgetting things here and there and it's just a mess. That's why I want to share tips with you here, well, more like a checklist for you that will in turn help you prepare mentally after the move. When moving from Ontario to Florida, you have to familiarize yourself with the healthcare system, including local doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies. Very important here, so please note that you want to make sure your health insurance covers Florida services. Visit the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles to transfer your driver's license and register your vehicle. Be ready for written tests, if may be, if you're a new resident. Prepare for hurricanes by creating an emergency plan, stocking up on essentials, and knowing evacuation routes. Follow local news during hurricane season. Respect beach rules, avoid littering, and protect wildlife, especially sea turtles. Explore Florida's diverse cuisine like Cuban sandwiches and key lime pie, and immerse yourself in local culture by attending events and festivals. If you're still watching this video, it means you liked the video and you found it helpful. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and more future videos just like this one. Additionally, I have a bonus tip for you. If you're moving to Florida, try joining local expat groups and using newcomer apps to help you settle in. Expat communities can give you tips and support from people who know what it's like. Check out meetup.com or Facebook for groups that match your interests so you can meet new friends. Apps like Nextdoor will help you learn about local events and safety info, while Around Me shows nearby places like restaurants and stores. Also, find Florida-specific apps for weather updates, hurricane alerts, and local news to stay informed and prepared. You could also follow my TikTok channel as well by clicking my links below so you can get additional Florida information. Now that you know what you need to keep in mind when moving to Florida from Ontario, the move will be seamless, but simply knowing these facts won't do you any good. That's why I recommend you check out my past videos where I talk about many things you should know before moving to Florida. Once again, my name is Gino Santarossa and I'm a realtor from Florida, and if you would like to work with me, my contact info is in the description box below. If you want to keep receiving real estate market updates about Florida, make sure to subscribe and follow me here and on all my other socials. And just for watching this long, I want to offer you a free Florida buyer's guide just for signing up below. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video, and remember, your dream home is just a call away.